HTML language, then that is English. Let me click English US, then I close that. We open our head tag, we open our title tag, because I want it to have a title which is tables. Then let me include a style there, although we use some CSS style here, but we just have to do that a bit. Then we open our body tag, then let's have our div. We want to put our table in a div, then we can have our table tag. Now having this shows that we want to create a table, but inside the table we have what we call a row and a column. A row is the line that draw from right to left, which is horizontal, while a column is from up to down, which is vertical. Then the intersection of a row and a column is the one we call cell. So please take note of this. And in a table, before we can have a table, we must have a row. So we have TR, which is denoted as table row. And remember, in a table, we are going to have table head, and then we are going to have the column. So we must have headings. So in that case, the heading must be in a row. How many rows, how many column? So we are going to have just one row, but the column might be 3 or 4. So in that case, we are going to have table head. The table head is used for heading of a table. Sorry, it's not it's not HD, it's TH, table head. And you can also use head. Well, let's use table head. Then we have our table head. How many table head do we want? We can say, okay, we want 4. So let me make it faster so that we have 4 tables. Let me just say TH times 8 times 4. Then we have 4 table head being written. Now, in the first one, I want to have the serial number which is SN. Second one, I want to have the names. Third one, I want to have age, and the last one, I want to have class. So those are the headings I want my table to have. So these headings will be in one row. Let me run this so that we can see the outcome. And you see that this is the numbers, this is the names, this is the age, and this is the class. Each of them are in a row, which is the TR, and each of them maintain their column, which is the T-head, 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 and T-head. So then we now need to create another row for the table to have their own data. So we are going to create another TR for the row. This is the second row. The first TR is the first row, while the second TR is the second row. So this second row is the one that will take data for each of these headings. So we want to put data under each of these heading. So how many data do we want? We are going to use TD. TD is the data, and we want 4 datas. So I'm going to use the same magic I used times 4, that is TD, to get our TD tag. TD is the same thing as table data, while TH is the same thing as table head, while TR is table row, and TB, and T, sorry, and table is the whole entire table. So that is what we mean by table. Then if I want to fill it, then serial number is what? 1. So let me say 1. Names, okay, I want to have a name here, Shola, or let me say, yeah, Shola. Then age, 23, class, oh, class, let me say 100. Okay, let me use level instead of, okay, level, right. So this is the first data we enter in a row for just a person. So if I refresh this, I will have the data. Can you see? Serial number under one, name under Shola, age under age, and then level under level. So if I want to enter the second value, which is for the second person, I will need to enter another row, which is TR. Then I will enter the data again, TD times 4. I don't want to be repeating TD, TD, TD. That's why I'm using that command so that it can give me once and for all. Then I will have 2 second data, and that is Alvin. Alvin 2100. So this is also what? The second data. So like that, when you keep on increasing the rows and you put the values, you will always get each of these data displayed under their headings. Now let's go look at a way to format these headings. If you look at it, we did not see the border, we did not see anything. So there is a way we can format it, but as it is now, we have a table already completed. So we can now give it a style. So let's look at some things we need to look at when we have to give a style. So in that case, we look at this. Let's look at the tables. Okay, let's first of all look at the table border. When we talk about table borders, we can give it border by styling it. So I don't want to style it here. That's why I have used the style guide here. So this style now I can say table. What do I want to put in the table? I want it to have border 2 pixel. I check it now. We are going to see border around it. Okay, sorry. Okay, I think there is something missing. We've done this already. Okay, I only put the thickness. I didn't put the color. Sorry. 2 pixel solid black. And give it any solid color. So you can use an hexadecimal color too. When I refresh, you can see the table has this border. Why am I having it only on this table? Because I only style the table with the table tag. So if I want to style the TR, that is the row, I can also add what? Comma TR. With this, I'm styling them together. Is whatever happens to table will happen to TR. So if we refresh now, sorry, I'm supposed to style TD, not TR. TH, that is table head. So when we refresh, we have our table headings having what? Their own border. Then if I add one more again, comma, then TD, that is table data, is going to affect that too. So which means that you can style any one of these con ten t you have here the way you want it. Now I have styled the table, styled the TH and TD, and this method is used when you want want to style three component together, or you want three component or three different item to have the same feel and look of colours or styling, you can just put comma, put the next one, comma, put the next one. And mind you, you remember in CSS you can use the tag name to style, and although when we get to CSS we are going to talk about those things you can use in styling. So when I refresh now, you're going to see each of the cell in their own border. Now if I want this border to be there but yet I want it to collapse, then I will need to put what? Border collapse, border collapse. Then I will put what did I want it to do? Is it to separate or collapse? I just want it to collapse. So when I refresh, you can see that it has collapsed. Instead of it to have that space that shows that this one is separate, this one is separate. No, it has what? It now have they are now collapsed together, and the thickness which is 2 pixel of that border is still there. Then I want each of these text to stand at the center. Then we can now come in again, enter, we put what? Text align, then we put center. In this case we are doing CSS gradually, so that's just the introduction. I see that is now at the center. Then we can come again and say okay, we want one of the cell to be what? To be in different color. You can say what? TD, then we put this, we want the cell to be in color, so color, oh sorry, we want to do the background color. Let me put aqua. Let's see. So the TD, can you see each of them are in this type of color. We can also make each a single cell like this to have color, and while others or a single row to have color while others do not have color. Although when we get to CSS, we'll be looking into that in detail. So that is what we have here. So then let's look at the table size. We can size it the way you want. You can give it the size you want. You can give it whatever you want. You can change the, can you see, you can change the border radius. So but all these ones is now left for you to do. When we get to CSS, we are going to work more on it. We're going to work more on it. This is when you want to change the dotted border, as a border dash style, you change the dotted style. All these things are basically done using CSS. So when we get to CSS, we're going to go deep in different styling methods. So because if I start going deep now, you might be confused. That's why I said when we get to CSS, we take that again, because we are going to develop a complete website, maybe a page or two, and we are going to style it to our own taste, how we want it to look like. So, but before we do that, if we conclude this statement today, you are going to do a project for me, which will show that yes, you have learned something from your HTML, because whatever you develop with your HTML is what you are going to work on using your CSS. So that's what we are going to do. So this is all you need to know about table. There's not much to know about table. I think it's loading. There's not much you need to know the how to arrange your tables. The table, the TR, the TR, the TH, the TD, and so on and so forth. After that, you are done with table. Then you can now start with the styling, border, the shape, the color, the spaces you want it to have, and so on and so forth. So I think the network is somehow giving us an error. Okay, so in that case, let's quickly move on to forms. I'm going to create another div to showcase the form. When we are talking about form is a form that we use is a process we use online to get user input. We use it to get information from the users in order to carry out our own activities or to know what we should do next, or in order to authorize the user the opportunity to use our platform. So when we are working on forms, first thing we need to know is we have to have our form tag. Then when you have your form tag, then you start to include your attributes. The first attribute we want to know is the action attribute. What action do you want to perform? So the action is talking about the place you want your form to be submitted. So we want our form to be submitted on base.html. This is where we want our form to be submitted. Then we put our method. What method do we want to use? Is it get method or post method? So we are using get method because this is just a text example. When we get to Python, whereby we start developing an application, we're using the server backend, then we will now go in depth using the post method. So we have our form. This is just the basic things you need to know about form for you to send information to the back end or to fetch information to the front end. So then inside your form, we have our input field. Input, we use input type, type text. Then we have name attribute, which is used to get the name. So let me say f name. Then you can use a placeholder, and you put enter your name. Also, I'm going to use just few input field. Input type, uh input type, password. Then this we have name. I hope I choose the right one. Then we say pwd, then placeholder, password. Let's just say enter password. This one is used for password. Let's see what's going on. I will see there. Yeah, password is correct. So I will need to break this down. Let me just put a tag here. Put h4 tag stating form. Okay, so let's close our input field here, and I will need to break this field so that we have remember, I'm not using label here because having the placeholder will still give you the information you want to know, because the placeholder is telling you what to do. Enter your name, enter the password. Then let's quickly look at email input. We need email to input type mail. email, then mail, placeholder, enter a valid email. Mind you, when you are doing your form, you can also add ID to each of these input field in case you might need it later for any styling process or so. Then sometimes we have value attribute. The value attribute is just to indicate the value you want the data to have. So I think we have this then input. I can't put all the input type, I'll just put a little. Then you go ahead to search for more input type. We have date, we have time, we have color, and so on and so forth. So let's look at select. This is used to select options. Select tag, then we put what? Our options, option, then can now put option then value. Then we put what? Let's say sorry, value equals let me put one, and I say uh Nigeria. Let me quickly add one more option, and I'll put select a country. Okay, we'll just add one more. Let me just add three more. So let me say option times three. Yeah. So we have value two, value three, value four. Then we can say Congo, Algeria, Mali. Okay. So that is for select. If we look at it, yes, in your select field, mind you, where you are going to put your name will be here because this is where the function will work with it. So let's just say country. That's the name of the select. So with this name now, we can get any information coming from here. So that is that. So if I check this and I preview, you can see select is just list of countries. So and this select country is default. That's why we still see it there. Okay. So then we have the radio button. Let's say gender. Let me use label for this. Label gender. Then we have male. Label times two. So we have male, male, female. Then here we have input type. So we are going to use radio button here. Radio. Then we put name. Name. So we put value. Name. So we do the same thing for the female. Input type radio name field value name. Let's see how this go. I see gender male, female. Now when you look at this, when I click on male, it remains there, and when I click on female, it remains there. There is a trick that we use whereby when you click on male, it will clear the one on female and return back to male, and when you click on female, it will clear the one on male and return back to female. So in that case, we are going to use id gender. Is it gender? Okay, id gender. I hope this work, because so let me see, let me try first. Okay, no, it's not the one. That's not. Okay, I have the id and gender. So I think label for okay, the name, label for gender. Let me see if that will work here. I think I've forgotten that method, but let's see this first. Okay, no, I still don't get it. I think it's the name that will need to be the same thing. Okay, let me put gender here. Name, yeah, I think the name will be the one that will be the same thing. Okay, then let me change this one to male. It's been long I did this. So okay, so when I click on this two, yes, it's working now. So can you see? So once you click on male, it will remove it from female and take it to male. And once you click on male, when you click on female, it will remove it from male and take it to female. Why? Because in here we say label for equals gender. We now make the name to be the same thing. So since the name is the same thing, when you click on one, it will go for the one you click on and leave the other one. And when you click on the second one, it will go for the one you click on and leave the other one. So that is that on radio button. Then we have input on check, but check let me break this. Okay, then this also should be broken. Then we have input type checkbox. Checkbox is used to choose multiple options. So we have name, let me say chk check, then value. Have to put the value of the checkbox. Understand? You have to put the value. Value should be the value should be what? The value should be okay, let's use that as let's say like state you go to. So you say Lagos. So now after you've put the checkbox, we want to put the label in front of it. So we have so that the checkbox can be at the back of Lagos. So I will just copy this and paste in three places to have. Let me break it. Okay. So let's say Lagos, Ibadan, Ibadan. Okay. Los Angeles. Okay. Let's make this capital A. Okay. Let's make the value close up Los Angeles. Okay. Now this is a checkbox and we need to break this to make it easier. Yes. If we look at this now, we have this. Can you see now? So when we check, can you see? Can tick everything and that goes on. Then also we'll be looking at the submit button. We can use input field, input type submit, then we give it a name. You don't need to give it a no, you don't need to give it just type submit, then you put your submit. We will put our place value, sorry, placeholder, then submit. Because you have to put placeholder to make it display the name of the button, if not it won't display. Can you see that? Then we can also use another form of button. Let me break this so that the button can come down. We can also use another form of button which is a button tag, and you close it and say submit. So here too you can give it the styling and everything you want. This also will show you what a submit button. Then you can, by default this submit button is a what's the name, is type submit, but you can change the type to whatever type you want. I can change it to menu, I can change it to reset, I can change it to submit. So I'll just say reset. So if I come here and I type values, let me refresh. Okay, if I type the value now, let's say Ademola code password 11111, valid email jjj at yahoo.com, select country, I select Nigeria, then gender male, Lagos, and I click on submit. So e give me, if you look at this URL, look at this URL, you can see that what we have here is base.html. Then first name shows Ademola code, password shows 111, email shows jj@yahoo.com, then country shows one means Nigeria, then gender shows male, also the checkbox shows Lagos. That is the form for you. And the reason why we are seeing the form here is because we put our action on base.html. If you don't forget, our action is on base.html. That is why we are seeing the result in the URL, and the reason why we are seeing the result in the URL is because we use a get method. We use a get method here. So we are going to get the result on the URL bar here, and dat URL bar will be on the base.html URL bar. So dat is why we have our result there. Den if I go back here, the datas are still there. Can you see Ademola code? The password is not there again because is a secretive. So if I click on the second submit, which is reset, okay, let me change the name to reset so dat we won't get confused. Set. So I will need to fill the form again. Okay, now it's reset. So if I say Ademola code 1111 jjj@yahoo.com, Nigeria, mail, Lagos, Ibadan, and I submit, it will go straight to that place. Now that I check two, if we look at the check now, we see that we are going to have two. Can you see? Check Lagos and check Ibadan. Can you see that? So we're going to pick two check. Then if I now go back to the form is still there. If I click on reset, it will clear everything out of the data, and that's the function of reset. So that is basically things you need, the items you need to have a form on your web platform to get information from your people. So by the time we get to the server side, we'll be looking at how to make use of that form with the post method, and you'll be able to get the data at the back end. Thank you and have a wonderful day. If you love our video and you love the content, kindly subscribe to our channel, like and share with your friends and family. Thank you. For